Hey, so I'm here in Georgia, on the front lines of the reopening of the state of Georgia, and let me tell you that it is a beautiful, beautiful thing to be living in this state and to be a part of one of the first few states to reopen here, despite all the corona craziness. You like that alliteration? So I just want to relate a story here about one of my experiences in these few weeks that Georgia has reopened for business. Praise God, thank God for that. So I recently got a haircut. What do you guys think? And I went to my barber. His name is Mikael. I've been going to him for a few months now. He's a really great barber, very professional, very skilled, and he's the kind of barber who he's not going to sit there and talk your ear off, but when he does talk, he's going to make sure that each one of his words is worth saying, if that makes sense. And I just really appreciate that. So besides a quality haircut, he's just a real dude. And as he was cutting my hair, he was wearing an N95 mask. He did have a few other N95 masks ready to go in case he needed to use them or switch them out, which is a good thing. But I could tell that he was having a little difficulty breathing. Now, in my personal experience in wearing the masks, I'm still not sold on them. And I understand why some people wear them. I understand that if you're older and you're going out, maybe you should wear them. I think, as with anything in the United States of America, it should be a personal decision. So all these videos and other content that I've been seeing lately where people are getting into altercations or discussions with law enforcement about wearing a mask, that is a scary America. Very, very scary. Not only that, so Mikhail was taking other precautions such that he had plenty of sanitizing wipes. And you know how at the end of your haircut, your barber will, if they're a good barber, they'll be like, hey, check out the work I just did on the back. Because I usually get like 2.5 or a 3 on the sides, and I get 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch off the top because I got to preserve these nice curls. And then I ask for like a fade in the back. So he always shows me his handiwork, and it's always top notch, like I said. And before he handed me the mirror, he went ahead and he wiped it down. And then at the end of the haircut, as I was paying through Venmo, he picked up this hand sanitizer bottle right next to the cash register, and he let me get a little spritz of that. He actually spritzed it out for me, which I thought was nice. Speaks to his quality of service. Very hands-on. So anyway, almost any time that I go and get a haircut with him, he has the local news on, the television. And there was a couple of funny stories on there, as always. One of the stories was talking about a beach in Florida. I think that was a state. It's hard to remember at this point, but basically it looked like at this beach they had set up almost like when you go to the bank or like an amusement park. You have to, everyone standing in a line goes through a certain order, and it's kind of like a maze. I don't know the exact terminology there, but I think you know what I'm saying. And basically they set this up on the beach so that people could be socially distant at the beach, which to me defeats the purpose of getting outside, getting your vitamin D, getting fresh air. Beach air is proven through research to be healthy for people. Everyone knows that. You go in the water, and if you have cuts or other things on your skin, it heals your skin. So it's like, why are we taking precautions like this at our beaches? It's very strange, very strange. So he was quietly, cutting my hair, and he kind of stopped cutting my hair as that story was going on, and he turns to me and he's like, that's weird. That's weird. So then there was another story. I don't remember exactly about what, but they were showing people talking in DC. I don't know who was talking. Someone was talking in DC. The Swamp was talking. So the Swamp's talking, and he turns to me and he says, oh man, these freaking Democrats are politicizing this. Now, he and I have never talked about politics, ever. I didn't say anything about Democrats. He brought it up. And I really think that he didn't mean it in a way that is disparaging to people who call themselves Democrats. He's talking about the Democrat leadership. I think that's a very important distinction to talk about people who call themselves Democrats versus the Democratic leadership, because this is kind of why I like Trump. He has an R next to his name, Republican, but in my opinion, he's not a Republican. He's not. I'm not a Republican. I vote Republican because as of right now, those are the best choices, in my opinion. But it's just funny to me when you're talking to an actual business owner, what their opinions are, right? What their opinions are. These are the people who are the backbone of our society, all right? So then other topics of discussion during this haircut, we talked about the fact that business owners need to be more financially responsible, that they need to have savings set aside. That is part of the problem. No one wants to talk about that. It's very, very important. This crisis should have taught people, if that's one of the lessons, if you're a business owner, you got to get your finances in order. You have to have savings. Now it's hard. Not everybody does, and some people have never built their business that way, but people have to start doing that. So he agreed with that. Then I asked him how long had he been shut down, and he said it had been basically a month. So March 24th was his last day, and then we reopened on April 24th, and he said right away his customers were ready to come back and get their haircuts. And that was just such a good sign to me. And it brings me to how I want to close this out, which is just by saying that I feel God is at work here. I feel that he is bringing people closer to him. He is getting believers and non-believers to see what is going on. He is exposing a lot of things, and we have to be very aware of that. We have to pay attention to what he's exposing, and we do have to support each other. We do have to call things out. We do have to call out the Democrats politicizing it, and if Republicans are. I'm not a fan of what Fauci's doing, for the record. Not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of some of the ways that Trump has handled this by letting Fauci be the mouthpiece for this whole thing. I'm not a fan of him continuing to do press conferences outside while they're wearing masks, which gives the illusion that you need to wear a freaking mask outside when they're already socially distant. That's ridiculous. I don't want to live in a country like that. This is not what I thought America was about. So enough of that. That's the rant, and I just wanted to tie it into my recent experience with my amazing barber, Mikhail. He is an OG, and he's an immigrant here, and he's very grateful to be here. And think about that. Think about that. An immigrant calling out the Democrats' BS. Why would an immigrant do that? If they're supposed to be the party for immigrants, why would an immigrant do that? Maybe because he sees what's actually going on. And I pray that you would too, and I pray that you stay blessed.